Team Scritch, welcome back to Scritch's Gone Wild channel. Thanks again for checking in. Really appreciate it. I know a lot of you have been telling me you want more interviews. So here we go. I finally got somebody to say yes to an interview.
Hello.
And this is my new friend Crocs. Just met her today. She's killing it. Started May 10th. May 10th. And she's going to be in Pennsylvania tomorrow.
Woo.
The cool thing is we are too. But we started March 30th. So she's like practically running. So just a couple questions. So the first question I usually start with, which everybody is really curious about, is your trail name.
Okay.
So can you tell Team Scritch out there how you got your trail name, Crocs?
So I'm wearing my Crocs right now. I had a little bit of a shoe malfunction in the first couple days of the trail, and I ended up hiking 29 miles in my Crocs, all the way like to Neal's Gap, up and down Blood Mountain. And there was a guy who saw me hiking in my Crocs, and he just kept saying, "I can't believe you're hiking in your Crocs." And then a few hours later, he saw me at a water source, and he was like, "Hey, how's it going, Crocs?" And my first reaction was like, don't make that my trail name. But of course, it kind of stuck, and I accepted it, and I was like, yeah, I guess it's kind of cool. And honestly, the Crocs they really held up, very durable, would hike in them again. So yeah, that's Crocs.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And that's one of the things about your trail name out here. If somebody gives you one and you don't like it, you don't have to go, okay, that's my name.
Yeah.
I mean, you have some input into that. Although with a name like Sky King, that's just awesome.
Why would you want to change it?
Okay, so tell us why you're on the trail. What made you want to do this crazy epic adventure?
I had wanted to do it for a while. I went to college in Virginia and did a lot of outdoor programs that they had, and that was really when I started backpacking for the first time. And occasionally we would meet a thru hiker and got to chat with him a little bit. And I had never really heard of the Appalachian Trail until college and going on those trips. And I just became more and more enamored with this idea of spending a lot of time in nature, just really trying to intentionally live a little bit of life outdoors and kind of visiting civilization rather than the opposite, where I visit the outdoors and go on weekend hikes. And so that's where I really first got the idea of I really want to spend this much time just hiking for a while. And I didn't know when in my life that would be able to happen. And I had kind of wanted to do it sooner or later. I didn't really have a specific plan. But then I was finishing up my second year of grad school. I was feeling really burnt out. I didn't want to go on to the next thing, didn't want to start working yet, and kept thinking about what am I going to do? I just want to give myself some time for reflection. And I was like, well, you've always wanted to hike the trail. So it just sort of happened. And I have two roommates who both were kind of interested in it too. And I slowly convinced them to come out with me.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, it's been great so far. And we've had relatively few hiccups and really have enjoyed our experience. So go do it. If you want to do it, just do it.
So what's been the hardest or the most challenging thing on the trail for you?
I think the most challenging thing, and before this, I had never given myself a chance to challenge myself physically in general. I think, academic challenges I was really into and would kind of push myself towards. And I think just battling through a couple of things, I had Achilles tendonitis on both my feet. I had plantar fasciitis. I had all of these different foot issues. But I just kept kind of coming to the point of if I can get something that's a sharp pain down to a dull ache, I can continue hiking and still be happy and enjoy things. And I think it just kind of came to this point of okay, I guess kind of learning that you can be in pain but still do something. And that was at the beginning, that was probably some of the most challenging stuff. But at this point, I'm happy that I have, because I feel relatively healthy. I've been able to keep hiking. Yeah, I'd say that.
Okay.
So just kind of just the physicalness.
Okay, so the opposite of that, what's been the best part or the most rewarding thing?
A couple of things. One, the best part has just been meeting some really, really amazing people and getting to spend some time with them. There's two people on my family who I never would have had the opportunity to chat to or spend time with before. And then the people that I meet every day, I don't know, it just makes it really rewarding to be out here. And then I guess on the flip side of this being one of the first times that I'm really physically challenging myself. I think just seeing how far my body can go, and like it's one thing to know that, oh, the human body can hike like 25 plus miles in a day, but it's like another thing to know that my body can do that.
Sure.
So
Okay. Is it more challenging or harder because you're a single female out here? Different? How would you describe that?
I think one thing that's been nice is that I do have two other like females that I'm hiking with. Is it gonna?
It's fine.
Okay, good. There's two other women that I'm hiking with. So that's been really nice. And there's been a few times that I've been at a shelter, a campsite, and there isn't somebody there that I haven't already met before, or know. But I feel like if I had started totally on my own, there would have been a few more like, I don't know, kind of ups and downs or things that I would have had to get more comfortable with. But the fact that I really got to ease myself into camping alone, because I had people around me that I knew, and then slowly as we continue to kind of separate and like start to hike at our own paces, and sometimes we would camp alone or not camp alone, but camp separate from the other ladies, it was still nice the fact that I like knew that there would be people at shelters who I could get along with and hang out with. But overall, I don't think I've had like any major issues being like a woman on the trail by myself. So.
Okay. I've noticed just percentage-wise, there's been a lot more females than I expected.
Oh yeah.
Did you expect that many?
I think at the very beginning I didn't see many, and then I think we started to like catch up with them.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, great. There's ladies out here too.
Well, you definitely didn't start in the bubble. So
yeah,
starting in the
true.
bubble, I got to see all of that.
Right. Yeah.
So. Okay. Have you thought about quitting?
Yeah. Who
What does that mean?
at some point? I mean, occasionally I would think, I could be doing something else with my time. Instead of hiking, over a half marathon every day, I could go do something else. I could go sit on the couch and watch TV. I could have someone pick me up and take me to get ice cream or something. There's you have those thoughts. But then as we're talking about like some of the most rewarding parts of the trail, I think what's been great, especially at the beginning when I was having some of like the foot issues I was having, some days I'd be like, okay, this is it, I'm done, I'm gonna get off trail, and then I'd hike 5 miles and see just an amazing view and sit there for a little while and be like, no, this is why I want to be here, and this is why I'm out here, and start just doing things that were better for my body and kind of like trying to resolve those foot issues, but still like having the opportunity to see some fantastic views that you'd only get to see if you're walking there. And meet some great people. Yeah, it just made it more rewarding. So
it's interesting. Everybody talks about the views, and they are amazing. But the other thing that Golden Goddess and I have noticed is just the things we get to see, like going through and seeing Washington, Maryland's Washington Monument, and seeing the War Correspondents Memorial,
right.
And then just the small little towns. We wouldn't have experienced that if we weren't on the trail.
Yeah, I never would have gone to any of these like small town USA that I just don't get the chance to see otherwise. And even like really tiny things, like we were talking about wine berries, which are a type of berry that I'd never heard of before, and now I'm obsessed with. I never would have known unless I just spent this much time hiking through like the DC, Maryland, Virginia area at this time of year. And that's like one really small example, but it's brightened my life. So
that's great. Okay, so if there was anybody out there that wants to get ready for the trail, that's planning on doing the trail, if you could only give them one piece of advice, what would that be?
That's a good question. I don't know. I do think that mental preparation is a massive part of it. And I think people, do a lot of working out. They try to get like their food and send themselves resupply packages. And there's but I think just like the mental preparation is maybe an underrated aspect of it. And I know that's like one tip, but I'm not going to be able to give any advice on like how to actually do that really. Yeah. But yeah, that is one area. Maybe reading some blogs about how people kind of spent time mentally preparing themselves for it.
And it's probably one of the hardest aspects.
Right.
I mean, because if you get hurt physically, you got to go home. But if it's in your head, well, should I stay? Should I go home? What do I want to do? What am I feeling?
Right.
Yeah, that's huge. Okay, great. So any final parting thoughts for Team Scritch before we finish the interview?
Thank you guys. It's nice to meet you. Also, for everyone out there who's thinking about hiking the trail, I think, grab a friend who has thought about it, talk to them, and just start making a plan, get out here. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Crocs.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the interview.
All right, Team Scritch, stay positive, say your prayers, do something good for somebody, have a glass of wine for me tonight.
Enjoy.
Until next time, Scritch is out.